Okay, so now we'll have a look at more complex conditional statements, or rather logical expressions. And we will, of course, see why it is actually useful to know these logical expressions. So let's jump into an example. Imagine we want to create a simple program, a simple code cell, which checks more than one thing. So basically, we are checking if some discount can be applied to our order, and we believe that our customers should get a discount if two conditions are met. So basically, one is if the total price is bigger than 100, and second one if the delivery country is France. For instance, we have a company in France, and for within country deliveries we can apply discount, and for international deliveries we don't yet provide such discounts. So one way of doing that would be to first check if total price is bigger than 100, and then if this condition is met, if this evaluates to true, write another if statement which also checks whether the delivery country is France. And if this expression evaluates to true, and this expression evaluates to true, then this code is executed. If not, this code is not executed, and so the message stays no discounts available. We can check that how it works in practice. In our case, a message should be discount available because the total price is bigger than 100 and delivery country is France. And yeah, it is indeed true, as we can see here. But as you can imagine, if I have more conditions like that, my code gets shifted and shifted to the right, and it's also not very it's more difficult to comprehend what is going on. And Python has a much easier way of describing things like this. Basically, if you recall, when I was referring to this example, I said if total price is bigger than 100 and delivery country is France. And in Python, we can use exactly these logical operators, which are the words and another example would be or. So the same words we use in everyday language. And we can simply write one logical expression, which is if total price is bigger than 100 and delivery country is equal to France. What Python will do when he sees an expression like this, he will, going from left to right, evaluate logical expressions, and he will try to go from bottom to the top. Basically, similar rules as in arithmetic operations apply. If you input something into brackets, then Python will first evaluate things in brackets, and also it goes from left to right. So what Python will do here, it will evaluate this expression. Total price is right now 124 and something, so bigger than 100. So it will replace this with true. Here he has and then he checks this one. This also evaluates to true. Python sees true and true, so the entire expression is also true, and so this code is executed. So we can run this example and see that this is indeed the case. We get the same result as above, and as you can see, the code is shorter and much more pleasant to the eye, and more readable and easier to comprehend. We can check what happens if we change one of the conditions. So for instance, if the total price is smaller than 100, then this entire expression evaluates to false. So right now this code wouldn't have been executed, and we would have a message no discounts available. We can also check what happens if the price is, for instance, still bigger than 100, but delivery country, we will change it to, let's say, Germany. So now we again get false, because when we have an AND operator, both or all of the expressions have to be true for us to get the value true here. So let's change this back to 87 as before, and delivery country will be France. Okay, so let's have a look at some other examples of some other operators. So we also have an OR operator, as I said, and an OR operator, similar like in everyday language, works in such a way that if at least one of the conditions is true, then the entire expression is true. So right now, maybe I will write it here explicitly. Delivery country, let's say it's France. Okay, so now let's check what happens if we have total price smaller than 100, but delivery country is still France. If I run this code, I get the value true. Okay, this evaluates to false because total price is smaller than 100, but this is true. And since at least one of the expressions is true, this one, namely this one in this example, the entire expression is also true. So you have two ways of expressing things using AND and OR operator. It's very, very useful. There is also one additional operator which works in an obvious way when you see it. Basically, not operator. So whatever logical expression we have, so let's have a look, for instance, at this expression, which is already kind of complicated. It's not very complicated, but for you it might be. So it consists of smaller logical expressions. Right now it evaluates to true. If I input this expression into it, if I put this expression into brackets and apply not operator to this whole expression, so that's why I have brackets, then I get the opposite logical value. So basically I had the value true, I apply not operator, and I get the value false. So, and using these three operators, you can get very, very complicated and various conditions and various ways the program can work. And since you have these many options, usually there are more than one ways of describing the same condition. So you can think about it. I encourage you to think about it this way, not total price greater than 100 or delivery country equals France, is actually equivalent. Like when one is true, the other is always true. When one is false, the other is always false. This is the same way of expressing the same thing. You can think about it. Why is that so? But the important thing for you to remember is that you may have more, and usually you have more than one option, one way to express a logical expression and basically get the desired behavior. So that would be all concerning more complicated logical expressions. Of course, things can get even more complicated, but this is, as we know, introductory course. And in the next video, we will talk about conditional statement in functions. So we will basically try to combine the knowledge we have learned in this notebook with the knowledge we have learned in the previous notebook, and find some use cases for both functions and conditional statements. So thank you for your attention, and see you in the next video.